Ladies and gentlemen, lovers of war, traders of great renown, I, the Strategic Indian, bid you welcome to my channel, where our motto is think, practice thinking. If you like the content, please do not forget to like and subscribe. Also, leave a comment, which will greatly help with the almighty YouTube algorithm. In today's episode, we are going to humiliate the first raiders who come to attack us. We shall build towers to protect ourselves, we shall expand agriculture, and build additional stables to support our increasing host of domesticated animals. Let us recap of what we have done. We have increased our housing capacity, we have increased our food drying capacity, our animal capacity, and placed haystacks and wells near to them to provide for them. Granaries have been built with animal products being processed by dry skin and skin dryers and tanners and hearths and mortars, and we also have built a flagpole to pay respect to our ancestors. This is where we pick off today. There is a bunch of bison that we hunted because remember the last time bisons came in and we lost one person to hyena attacks. So that is the score is still one person lost, which is going to increase very shortly, because that one single misclick of sending my people out, there you can see somebody was near to that sled to pick up that objects dropped by that first dead body, and then the hyenas were still in the vicinity, and then they could jump off and get another one of our cavemen. So this is a tally score of 2. So one single misclick has led to 2 people being lost. So be very careful with Dawn of Man. Your mistakes are not momentarily, but they continue for a very long time. Right. This is the state of the village. As you can clearly see, people are picking up raw meat from the granaries and going through the stables to our drying rack. Always keep an eye out on your tasks by pressing the number 5 and keep cancelling tasks which you think are not productive. So we have our first raider attack coming in. I'm going to increase the meat capacity to infinite, as I said in the previous episode. There. So we have quite a bunch of attackers coming in. Attackers are always dressed in red. Traders are dressed in orange. There you can clearly see that they are coming in. We don't have towers built yet because it's way too early. We got attacked earlier because we have built up so efficiently and so fast. So if you get your first batch of immigrants before the first trader comes in, then expect that the raider attack is going to happen a year earlier. So often raider attacks happen year 3 or year 4, so they can come in at year 2 as we are seeing right now. You will have to micromanage when such things happen. So there you can see somebody has moved forward to fire, so you will have to keep a special eye out on her. So if you see that she is losing health quite a lot, you want to pull them back, but we are going to dominate. We have 20 people over here. That's more than enough. We lost one person. So there, I moved this wounded caveman back, and now our people are going to be in complete bloodlust. I have pressed the alarm off button, but they just continue to chase these cavemen. So I even go in and I box them and I tell them to stop firing and stop chasing. I press the alarm off button, but yeah, nothing is going to hold back. One of our cavemen have gotten killed and they are going to take revenge. That one caveman who's limping back is not going to be able to leave. This is just pure and simple bloodlust. there. You can see I'm really clicking on the alarm off, I'm clicking them away, but yeah, they don't want to listen. They lost one of their men, and that's it. We got this guy. Let's zoom in onto the dead body of this raider that we got. Look at them celebrating. Now you want to kill off the maximum number of raiders because the more raiders you kill, the more knowledge points you gain. However, you want to do that given your situation. In the late game, we'll be having so many knowledge points we wouldn't even know what to do with. But in the Neolithic age, we are going to be able to spend our knowledge points as fast as we gain them, right? So we don't want to hold back at this point. I'm going to cancel this hyena being butchered because just to insult it, and we leave that carcass to rot, and it serves no purpose for us. So here you can see I'm struggling a little bit to find where my base camp is. So always double press enter to focus the view on your village, and if it doesn't work, then you just keep on double pressing it till you get back to your city. Yes, city. This is a city. This is a grand city. So this is not a village. Always keep producing sleds. As soon as you get to leather, or you are seeing that you're about to get to leather, you want to get additional sleds. This caveman is particularly weak. We notice that his stamina bar is a bit low, his health bar is very low, so we immediately send him into the hut to recover his health. And now we're going to put in the first burial mound. Ideally, I would like to have everyone buried, because as soon as they lose a relative or one of their fellow cavemen to animals or to raiders, and they are unable to bury them, then they lose quite a lot of morale. So here there were 3 people that we couldn't actually bury because we didn't have the stones, because cutting and placing stones are quite a lot of work, and we use the stones to move our hearth and our mortar closer to the granary. So now we are going to go and build this mound so that future cavemen can be buried and ancestors can be paid respects to. We unlocked a milestone called survival milestone and we get 2 knowledge out of that. At this point, every bit of knowledge is very, very important. This is a very nice commanding position over the city, so our ancestors are going to look over our citizens while they toil. You can see the beautiful fields of barley and emmer out there ready for harvesting. The golden crops are ready for harvesting. Our cavemen are moving in. We are going to increase priority. So at this stage where our agriculture is, this is not a powerhouse agriculture. This is enough agriculture to support our additional buildings. For example, this second stable that we're going to build, because now we have 14 animals and we have only 1 stable, so that is 10 animals maximum to be supported. So we build 1 more. We are now going to also build our second granary diagonal to the first granary. So we use a ghost footprint of 1 granary to place the second granary, and then we remove the ghost footprint so that it doesn't clog up our workforce. as you can see, we already have 60 plus food for our 20 citizens. Each of the citizens per year, they eat 3 to 4 food, whatever food that might be. We want to put in a tower at this entrance on the right flank, so that if raiders come from the place they came before or from a little north of that, we will be able to counter them. Okay, so very old jungle proverb: in the Neolithic age, you want to spend your knowledge points as fast as you get them. So we're going to get the flint mining, and we are going to start unlocking all the different kinds of farming. We are not going to farm any pulses throughout the entire game. Because we want to keep winter free for people to rest and relax and build up buildings or go for hunting missions. We are going to use the summer to pick up fruits from orchards, but not go and hunt cultivate pulses. So none of that is going to happen. We're going to break down this one temporary haystack that we had built in the beginning of the game, so that we can centralize everything. We are now going to put down the footprint for our 5th house in this row. So 6 houses in total. You can clearly see that the house fits in exact one position if you place that first house properly. Do not overbuild stables. They require maintenance and they hold resources which actually decay. So if you put in straw or grain in them to feed the animals in winter, but winter is over, everybody goes their way, the animals go out to feed on their own, then that resource is going to rot. So you don't want to overbuild stables. Plus they require 1 straw often to rebuild. As soon as blizzards hit, you want to hit the alarm bell. So that's what I do, so that everybody goes and grabs a wool outfit or a dry skin outfit. They are recalled from whatever work they are doing. In the late game, what you want to do is make sure that you keep ringing this bell till everybody returns. We're going to put in one more house. So now we are beginning to round the first quadrant. And remember, all of it depends on that first house that we build. That is a very, very important building. Now we're going to go out and hunt in the blizzard. So we will use the primal vision, because otherwise it's really impossible to see. You want to hunt younglings, and that attracts their bigger aurochs to attack, and you want them to everybody to come towards you so that you don't go and chase. Keep pressing tab to go to the primal view, and use speed buttons 1 to 4 as we showed in the first episode itself, to be able to regulate the speed and the pace in which the hunting happens. So you don't want to go very slowly and waste time. You want to move fast towards them, and you want to slow down when you are very close to getting the kill. Switch targets often. This is still a blizzard, so yeah, it's a bit hard for them to remain outside. We can clearly see 4 people have joined our settlement. I will go into what the number of immigrants coming in actually means later in this video. Press the alarm button once, which forces this hunting party of ours to reassess their jobs, and then they can come back to the to base. Trader is here. Let's grab quite a lot of straw and food. The more food that we have, the more enticing we are to immigrants. So you can see our hunting party is now returning. I micromanage and I double click them so that they come running into the cave to the hut to rest up. and get the temperature. As soon as they are back inside the hut, you want to see what the condition is, how far they were actually out in the cold, what their temperatures are, and what their health bars are, and that gives you an idea of how overworked they are. Or if you think that we can actually go and do more, then you want to press out and do more. So I can clearly see one person is just standing around doing nothing, so I asked him to build this hut, which he is reluctant to do so. But I noticed that he has got axe in his inventory, so I send him out to do the preferred job for him, which is chopping down a tree. So there he goes, picks up the sled and goes off to chop the tree. We are going to place some totems in free spaces. So I don't put them in the Excel file because it gets too crowded, but we are going to put in 2 more of these totem poles. So we completely ran out of straw in the previous turn, so we are going to increase our farming much more aggressively. And we're going to put out 2 full fields of one of emmer and one of barley, because what you have is 25 people, so that is 2 5x5 farms that you would be able to support with this workforce. We have a look around and we see in our immediate milieu that there is a bunch of ibexes which we can tame. So there are 2 things. One, you can try to hunt all of these animals, so all the herbivores, the entire herd. But this early in the game, when you are pulled in so many different directions, you just want to go and grab the younglings. We are going to put in 2 more totem poles in these corners. That makes 4 nice totem poles around this one haystack, and that looks really nice, and I like doing this. We build an additional sled because we have 3 leather, so we keep on slowly pushing up our sled capacity. We have enough food dryers at this point to dry all the raw meat that we have. If we go and do additional hunts, then we are going to increase our food drying capacity, but we are not going to do it currently. Cancel buildings that you can't build. So for example, that hut around the corner I cancelled because I don't have 2 straws, and until a trader comes in and provides that, that will just clog up the workforce. Right. The number of immigrants that you get actually tells you the state of your colony. The status bar, which you can get by pressing the stats panel at R, doesn't actually tell the truth always. So if you're getting 2 to 3 immigrants, that's okay. If you're getting 4 immigrants, that's good all round. If you're getting 5 and above, that is exceptional. And in the very late game, then you can get 6 or more. I have gotten once 7 immigrants come in a vanilla game. In modded versions, then you can have 10 and 15 people come in, but then also you have flat lands, so then you are able to cultivate and you're able to grow much faster and much more and much quickly. So in the vanilla game, these are the limits. We have a few wolves which have come into the vicinity, so we are going to go after these wolves, and we are going to tame their pups. And remember that your children can actually go and tame wolf pups, and every time you tame a wolf pup you get a free dog. The number of dogs that you would get naturally in your colony is set to 1 by square root of 2. So square root of 2 is 1.14. So if you have 10 people, you have less than 10 people, 10 dogs in your colony. So you would have 8 to 9 dogs. So that is the cap of the number of dogs which comes in for free. However, if you go and capture the dogs, then you can get far above that number. So keep that in mind and maximize the number of dogs. There we got this adult wolves have been hunted, and there is a big giant cave bear nearby, and I have a hunting party, so I don't have any cave hyenas nearby. So at this case I will go and get this cave bear. As I said in the first episode that it's better not to kill cave bears, because they really help you. Bears are your friends. They will hunt all of these ridiculous attack animals like cave hyenas and cave lions and wolves, but we had an opportunity and we took it. We are going to send out a hunting party now. So hunting party of 5 will suffice to take out and wipe out all of these animals which have come onto the left bank, on the far bank of this river next to our settlement. What you want to do is you want to position yourself between the animals and the water source, because they are trying to go to the water source and you are going to hold them and you are going to continuously hunt them. And when you go out and micromanage, you want to kill as many of these animals in one go as possible, because this is very resource intensive, because 5 people are standing out and all of their weapons and their slings and bows, whatever they are using for hunting, is getting used up. There is a bit of overkill and you have to walk over here. So that's why once you are over there, you really don't want to show any mercy, whether it's a bear, whether it's cave animals which are the predators which are very dangerous. Anything which is in the vicinity you want to get rid of, especially herbivores. You want to really wipe out entire herds off so that they can respawn. Especially aurochs and bisons are going to be special priority for that particular reason. There you can see that the pigs are keeping on trying to go towards the water source. That's where you have created the plug, and that is the plug that you want to hold. The auroch which was trying to go towards the water, gone. Little bear, gone. And now these guys are going to go back home. Hunting done. We have got a tremendous amount of incoming meat, so we will have to increase our food drying capacity soon enough. So we put 1 food dryer next to this barn over here. You can clearly see how efficient this is, that right next to the mouth of the barn you have the food dryer. So the food which is to be dried is going to be getting picked up at that granary and immediately go to the dryer next to it. Once that food dries, whether it's an adult or a child is going to pick up that food and immediately deposit it right next to it, and then they are free to go and go on to the next job. Let's have a look at our beautiful village. You can clearly see these 4 totem poles looking over this one holy haystack that we have in the middle, and it looks very beautiful. And yeah, this is little things that you can do to decorate and personalize this village of yours. Right, we have 19 raw meat and we have 4 dryers, so that's a capacity of 24, but we have a bunch of things that we have went and killed. We can clearly see our sleds are going out in an industrial motion to grab all of those raw meat. So we will be increasing our drying capacity very soon. At this point we have a bunch of mouflons and sheep. The point is that we don't want to build weavers and outfitters in this episode. It's way too early, but the raw wool that we are collecting from these sheep are going to be sold to the trader for whatever we might need, whether it's animals, whether it's additional food to entice immigrants to come in. So yeah, everything has a purpose, everything is off for sale. Now I notice that my workload is quite low in the summer, so I am going to go and do a bit of berry collection, because yeah, we have the capacity for it, and the more food we have, the more immigrants we get, the more hands we have, the faster we can build, the more children they are going to have, and yeah, basically, and the more people you have, the safer you are from raids. As you can clearly see that in the first raid, we had this gigantic raid come towards us, and the only reason we went and succeeded with only one loss is because of the number of people that we actually have on hand. We are going to outnumber them, and that's all that we can do at this early stage. We're going to outnumber and win. Later we won't, we shall still outnumber, but they are going to be much more heavily armed and heavily armored, so we will be using defenses much more to win in the late game. We're going to put in an additional tower. Our second hut is getting built. Right. Our dryers are more or less full capacity right now. We have way more raw meat than dryers. So again, we got a clump of knowledge points. We're going to get farming out of the way, and weaving we learn, so that we are able to fill up the quadrant, which we are going to do in the next episode. We are not going to get those two last texts. There is a reason for that, and I will get into that in the subsequent episode. It actually tells you about how and when you want to go into the Copper Age. So we are now going to continue to build our first man sculpture. So let's go and build the thighs and the middle portion of the first man. There it is. And always do it when you have resources on hand. So I have 37 sticks, so that's why I put down 3. So that is going to be 3 times 10, which is going to be used, and also leave 7 sticks for other things to do. So if you put in order for 4, then 1, they would not have 40 sticks, and second, then they would be scrambling to get sticks, and you have the harvest season. So you really don't want to put in extra work for them. You want to get a clean harvest. So now the harvest that we are doing is going to be for making the powerhouse that we are building. The previous one was subsistence. This is expansion. So we are going to get way more food than what we need. Of course, some of the grain is going to go bad. We don't get notification of how much grain goes bad, but it's always better to have more than less. You can have attacks come in during the harvesting season, and then you're completely done, because yeah, you won't be able to harvest while these raiders are coming for you, especially at the late game. So there can be even 2 years when you would have bad harvests back to back because of raiders or crop diseases. So you always, if you think that, oh, I have more than enough, you're wrong. You always need more. 3 times the maximum number of cavemen that you have is the bare minimum. So as you can see, we have 30 people, but we have already pushed to 110 food. That is a little slightly more than 3 times. So we are now going to go and collect rocks, and only do rock collection if your workloads are low. So these rocks are going to be built for making the mortars and the hearths in the next episode. We're going to bump up the number to 20, and we're going to assign 5 people so that in the coming winter we are able to go and grab all of these rocks, and this task is finished before the next harvesting or planting season. Grains are of course the best kind of food that you can get because they last 2 years, and they are going to be processed into 2 flours from 1 unit of grain, which is going to give you 2 breads. So every grain that you get is actually 2 food, provided you have enough workforce and mortars and hearths to do the job. Later we are also going to go and get a bunch of water pumps, which is going to make this job of grinding flour much easy and much more efficient. Wolves come in, and we are going to go and hunt all of these wolves because one of our people already got attacked. It's very important that we have lost 3 people up to now, so 2 to cave hyenas and 1 person to a cave attack. So we are down 3, but that's all that we want to keep it to. We are going to send out our cavemen to hunt because we have some very wounded bears and cave hyenas, cave lions running around that we want to go and get for easy pickings. We have got an old mammoth nearby, which we are going to give the orders for this episode to go and hunt, and we will begin hunting that in the next episode. For now, we are going to have a look at what the trader has brought in. As always, get domesticated animals. We don't need the grain, and we are going to use the wool to grab all of these things, and bones because we'll have quite a surplus. There goes our hunting party for the mammoth. Right, so let us do a little recap. These are the buildings in green that we have built. Clearly, we have bought in most of the buildings inside this protective wall of roundhouses. Our population capacity has been pushed up. Maximum amount of animals have been pushed up to 30-ish. We have put in totem poles. We have put in additional food dryers. There are a bunch of building that we are going to do in the next episode, which is going to be very, very aggressive building. And at this episode, what we have done is basically consolidated by making sure that we go and do the requisite amount of agriculture so that we have enough straw to push this building spree that we are going to engage in the next episode. This will be it for this episode. Thank you for tuning in. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Put a comment. It really helps morale with the low number of subscribers playing these niche games. It really helps, makes my day. So thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back for more. This has been the Strategic Indian, signing out.